Hello, my friends, it's Lisa, and welcome to my bullet journal setup for the month of September. I'm very excited about this month's theme. I have been wanting to do a theme like this kind of all year. I was just waiting for the right moment when it felt right, when I would kind of be drawing it out and it would just come out the way I wanted it. So I'm kind of doing a cottagecore, mushroom, fairy tale kind of theme. It's kind of a combination of all of those things. I kind of wanted to do a kind of cottagecore theme for a very long time, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to kind of mix it with a mushroom and like fairy tale theme. I think the mushroom thing is like very trendy. I feel like I see them everywhere, and a lot of people have done mushroom like bullet journal themes before, but I thought this could be a fun little take on it. I'm not saying that this is like the most original thing, but I am really happy with it. I think it looks really neat. So I thought it'd be cool to have kind of the book be the base of the main doodle on this cover page. So I drew an open book, and coming out of the book is the kind of cottage and all of the like greenery and mushrooms and everything. So I decided to draw a little cottage with a mushroom like top. I thought that that was kind of cute, and then I just kind of draw some mushrooms and greenery kind of surrounding that cottage. And I also drew a little stars just to add a little bit of sparkle kind of surrounding the drawing and everything. And I just really like it. I really like this theme. I also, for the kind of style of drawings this month, I wanted them to be a little bit more like sketchbook-y, not like messy, but just kind of like, I didn't want to put so much effort into like the detail of the drawings and make them look super perfect or anything, because I feel like when you make a mistake and you're trying to do something super perfectly and super clean, it's very obvious. So I just really like the kind of quick sketchbook type of style and just kind of quickly sketching things out, because I think it's really effective, and also like when I do inevitably make a mistake, it's not as obvious. I can kind of just quickly like fix it, or just, I don't know, it's just, I think, a good type of style for drawing for me, especially with my bullet journals where I have to do so many of these doodles throughout all of the spreads. So I think that that is really like good for this type of theme, and it's kind of like my favorite type, I feel like, of style of bullet journaling. I feel like I've done it a few times this year. My like March ones with the library and everything were kind of like that, so it's definitely like a favorite type of style of drawing that I do. This theme is also pretty neutral. I decided to keep it pretty neutral with just like some pops of red and green here and there. I wanted to keep it very like woodsy and kind of more, I guess, rustic-y. I don't know, rustic is the right word to use, but I will have all of the kind of markers and supplies that I use throughout this theme linked below if you want to know any specific shades. But yeah, that is the title page for the September bullet journal spreads done. And now we're moving on to my calendar spreads. So for the actual calendar, I decided to kind of stick with that like imperfect kind of rustic, messy sort of look of this theme, where I had a marker that was kind of skipping. It was drawing out, one of my micron pens was drying out, so it was kind of naturally skipping when I was trying to draw lines anyway. It wasn't making a complete straight line, and I really liked the way that that looked. I thought it fit well actually with the theme, so I kind of took one of my pens and was like purposefully making skips in the lines, not making them perfect straight lines and connecting everything. I just thought it fit well within the theme. So yeah, I kind of did that like imperfect boxes for the calendar, like the actual calendar, and then I wrote September up at the top, also the days of the week at the top of the calendar as well, and then I go in and label each day of the month, the numbers. It's not very exciting, but that is the kind of point of a calendar spread. But then to kind of make it a little bit more exciting, I did decide to add some of the drawings to the bottom of the page. I drew some mushrooms down at the bottom right hand side, and then drew a couple more and also some trees on the left hand side. I wanted to include some trees on the like main cover page, but I thought it would be a little bit too messy, but I wanted to still kind of add them throughout all of the spreads and just kind of add to that greenery vibe. So yeah, while we watch me draw a bunch of mushrooms and leaves and plants and trees and all of that, I thought I would just ask you all how you are. How are you doing? How was your month of August? I will kind of reflect a little bit more on how August was for me, I think, on my favorites page, but I wanted to check in, see how you all were doing. Do you have any exciting plans in September? Let me know. I don't think I have anything going on in September. I was trying to think of something exciting to share in September that might be happening for me, but I honestly do not know, but that's fine. I feel like October and November are going to be a little bit more busy for me because of certain exciting events happening with family, and like my sister's getting married, so there's a lot of things going on there with that. But I think September is going to be pretty chill, which I'm happy about. Oh, I also forgot to mention that I did take one of the like whiter acrylograph pens from Archer and Olive, their paint pens. I did take that and draw some like dots on the mushrooms just to add a little bit more detail. I did go back and add that on the mushrooms on the title page as well, just to add a little bit more detail. And then I went in, added some of those stars kind of surrounding the page to kind of tie everything together. And then that is the calendar spread complete. All right, so moving on to my next spread, this is going to be my habit tracker page, and I'm once again drawing 8 different boxes for each habit that I track, and I'm kind of doing that messy and perfect type of box. I think I kind of do that throughout all of the spreads this month. That's kind of how I just do every single like line or box that I need throughout any of the spreads, just to kind of keep everything cohesive. And I also take a tan marker and kind of block off the days of the month that actually aren't in September. I want the little boxes to look like the September calendar, and each like 1 by 1 box on the bullet journal page will be a day of the month, and I will know that that day correlates with that day of the month, if that makes sense. I also have 8 different habits that I like to keep track of when I read, when I listen to my audiobook, when I post to YouTube and Instagram, when I wash my hair, when I do my skincare routine, and when I use mouthwash and when I floss. All very important things that are important for me to keep track of and make sure I'm doing as frequently as needed. So I really think that those ones are important for me to track and what I like to track each month. And once again, drawing a bunch of mushrooms and plants and greenery to kind of bring in the theme onto this page. And kind of across the bottom, I do a few different doodles to kind of bridge the 2 pages together and bring the theme into these 2 pages. So in the center of both of these pages, the habit tracker on the left and what's going to be my monthly favorites page on the right, I draw the open book and kind of have it spreading across both of those pages. And I wanted to draw the book again, but I wasn't sure how to incorporate it into some of my other spreads, so I just decided to draw it here. And I really do like the open book doodle. I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool to see the things growing out of the book, so I knew I wanted to include it again, so that's what I'm drawing here. And then on the bottom right hand side on my monthly favorite spread, I draw some of the trees to bring those doodles back in as well. So yeah, doing a lot of the same sorts of drawings. It is a little bit more time consuming having to do all these little types of drawings, but I do really like the way it turned out. I think it was worth the time that it took me to draw all of these things. And like I said, on the right hand side, this is going to be my monthly favorites page, and I keep track of like the music, the memories, lifestyle things, and also any entertainment type of things that I love throughout the month. I just like a place to keep track of that. And while we watch me set up this spread and fill in and color in all of the drawings and everything, I thought we could kind of reflect on my August favorites. I kind of want to spice up these voiceovers, do something different. I feel like they've kind of become a bit repetitive, so let's chat about some August faves. For music, I was excessively listening to Emails I Can't Send by Sabrina Carpenter, the whole album. I know it technically came out in July. I was listening to it in July, but it's also the only thing I've really listened to in August. I have had it on repeat. I love it so much. And I also have been listening to the couple of new Macy Peter songs as well this month. For entertainment, I don't think I've watched anything new, but I have read a few things. I read I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, and I highly recommend. I also have a little sneak peek for my next 5-star predictions vlog. I read The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armis and absolutely loved it. So that was definitely a favorite in August as well. Yeah, overall, I had a great month. I celebrated my 24th birthday, which was so fun, and earlier in the month, I met Darian from Darian Reads, one of my best friends, so it was just a really great month, and I'd love to know any of the highlights, anything you loved in the month of August as well. Definitely leave them below in the comments. So now we're moving on to the second to last spread, which is going to be my brain dump page. I don't think I've done one of these since June of this year, and to be honest, the past few months I've just been using that same page and going back and using that one. So I thought it was about time for me to make a fresh new brain dump page for me to use this month, as well as probably like the next couple of months. I find them very helpful to have just a place in my journal to write down anything I need to, any to-do lists, any reminders, any like just any appointments, I don't know, like anything that you need. It's basically a place to literally write down anything. So I do find it helpful to have these like periodically throughout my bullet journal. I definitely don't need to do them every single month, but it is nice to have them like periodically throughout the entire journal. And I also decided to draw the little mushroom cottage down at the bottom, some more mushrooms, some greenery, just to add a bit of the theme into the page, make it a little bit more exciting. And I also, add those stars. And then that is Bring Down page done. Very simple. Want to just have plenty of space to write down anything that I need to. And now we're moving on to the last spread, which is going to be my first weekly spread. So I actually changed up what I did this month. I did do all of the spreads, all of my weekly spreads, the same layout, but this is technically a different layout than what I've done the rest of the year. So I think we all should be proud of me. So I basically just split the page into 6 horizontal boxes, and the sixth one on the bottom I just split in half for the 2 days of the weekend, for Saturday and Sunday. And where I'm going to kind of write the day of that week, the actual number, I decided to do some mushrooms, some greenery, kind of like a border, I guess, for the numbers, just to kind of bring the theme into the weekly spread, but also not have it interfere with where I need to write anything that I need to do, any important dates, any reminders, anything on my to-do list. I didn't want it to interfere with that space, but I think it adds a little bit of the theme into my weekly spreads, and I really like the way the numbers kind of look with the doodles. I don't know. I really like this weekly spread. I feel like this is a layout that I might need to repeat in the future. So yeah, each week of September I did the exact same layout, and we're gonna just have to wait and see how it works for me. We'll see if I go back to the thing that I've been doing basically all year, but I was excited to kind of change it up, do something different, and I have plenty of space to write down anything that I need to do. So I think this is a layout that will hopefully work for me. But that is going to be it for my bullet journal setup for the month of September. So here's a flip through of how all of the spreads kind of turned out. I'm very happy with how they turned out. I'm very happy with this theme. I love the cottagecore, fairy tale, very whimsical vibes, but definitely let me know down below in the comments what you all chose to do in your bullet journal for the month of September. I love hearing each month what you all decide to do, but that is going to be it for this month's bullet journal setup. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.